Our workshop is about parenting in a digital age, and the reason we are giving this workshop is a little bit in response after the incident with the blue whale and the red dolphin issue. And we thought it was important to talk about parenting in a digital age and digital safety and how to make sure that your child is safe online. Okay, you go first.
Sure. So a brief introduction to ourselves. I am the early years and primary years social and emotional learning counselor. And then,
So I'm Ms. Loes. I am the counselor in secondary NYP. I work with the grade 6 to 12 students. I've supported elementary, but this year I'm working with secondary. I've been here at school for 4 years.
So what you can expect us to cover today are various ways that we support students or children. So first at KIS, like what we as a counseling department do, how we provide support, kind of our layers of support and our methods. Then the next one is digital safety, as well as the risks of being in an age that is so surrounded by the internet. So we'll cover that, and then how you can support your child socially and emotionally, especially in the digital age. And again, we have a space called the parking lot questions. So if you have questions that start coming up, you can write them on these sticky notes that are in front of you, and you can put them up on the board or just hold on to them, and at the end we will cover them and go over what this workshop brings up.
I wanted to start with an inclusion activity, just to get some thoughts actually, what you're already doing as a parent. Well, the way this is going to work, I'm going to set a statement, and if your answer to the statement is yes, you can stand up, and if your answer is no, you can stay seated. So this gives us an idea about what you do as a parent already when it comes to, well, digital citizenship. My first statement is this: my child has limited screen time at home. If your answer is yes, you can stand up, please, just for the witness. Thank you.
In addition to schoolwork at home.
Yeah, at home, just at home. Okay. Yes. Sorry? Just even phone, even limited. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Would you like to elaborate on that? Would you like to explain why your child has limited screen time?
Ooh.
TV. Because things we talk about today and social media.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We have a question.
Yes.
If TV counts.
TV is a screen. Yes, so TV, iPad, phone, any screen that you can think of. Next question. My child is allowed to have a social media account before he or she turns 30. Who says yes, my child has a social media account? And who says no? All right. Thank you. Right? Okay, thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Next. I monitor my child's social media, if they have social media, or maybe digital internet behavior in general, and online behavior in general. For example, by checking their phone or tracking their social media. Are you monitoring your child's social media and online behavior? Yes. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Sorry, what's
I heard the question, is gaming a part of social media? And that is a way that children interact socially online. So it can.
Especially when it comes to online gaming.
Yes. Yeah.
Next question. I am worried about my child's internet habits. Stand up if your answer is yes. Stay seated when your answer is no. Okay, thank you, right? We hope that this workshop gives you some extra strategies maybe to deal with this and to monitor this. Alright? Thank you so much for sharing. Last question. As a parent, I make sure to limit my own personal screen time. So you're limiting your child's, but are you limiting your own? Is your answer yes? Please stand up. If your answer is no, please stay seated. All right. Thank you. All right. We'll get to this as well. Thank you.
Okay. So that inclusion activity just brings us all together. That this, like what we do as adults and parents and caregivers, really impacts the kids around us. So moving forward, what we do as a KIS counseling program, we have continual assessment of children's needs. So this is something that happens in the classrooms, in the hallways, at playtime, and map testing. All of it goes into considering like how is this child doing, and not just academically, but socially, emotionally. Well-being survey, we do this twice a year, is that correct? So we'll do it here in October and then again towards the end of the year, just as a check-in at the beginning and the end. We have individual and or group counseling sessions as is necessary. And that will come from that continual assessment piece. And we're collaborating as a team, working together to support the student. We have anti-bullying policy and digital code of conduct policies that we expect students to uphold, and if they don't, there's conversation, and oftentimes conversations with parents. Common sense digital citizen curriculum.
This is new this year. Okay. So we had a tech committee who looked into a useful, safe, good morning. A curriculum that would teach students about digital safety. So this is something new that the school adopted this year that is being taught here at school for students, but there's also a parent section. So this is a resource that we will share by the end of the presentation as well.
There's classroom social and emotional learning sessions. So Loes will push into the classrooms for the older students, and then I will push into the younger classrooms to provide lessons on like social and emotional topics like bullying, friendships, well-being, the zones of regulation, all of these things, just to continue to like help them grow as a well-rounded student. And then training teachers. So we also, when it's necessary, we provide education to the teachers of how to support their students as it comes to social and emotional topics, and even this digital age topic that we're covering today. Yeah. Are there any questions about what we provide as the KIS counseling team? Okay. Moving forward. Thank you.
I would like to talk about digital safety, and I would like you to just talk in your table, just for 2 minutes, to talk about what your concerns are when it comes to the digital safety of your child. So when you think of the risks that your child might have when it's on the internet, what kind of risks, what kind of dangers are you worried about for your child? But we have just 2 minutes to talk with an elbow partner or with the people on your table to talk about what you worry about. Yes? Thank you. Just for 2 minutes. Or write that down. take the screen again so we can move on. Thank you so much for your conversations. I got really good things actually. And it was interesting to hear that most of you are worried about similar things. For example, screen time, the amount of screen time that they like, the offline world and the real world, but also that we use screens here at school and at home. And I think I heard you say something about changing of mood changes, right? So if you can just go to the next one. This is research about what parents are mostly worried about. Most parents say that their child's internet habits concern them. So most of the parents are concerned, right? And the most one is too much screen time. Like you mentioned already, it's hard to find that balance because there's so much screen time, so many screens and videos and things that they see. Also, access to inappropriate material, right? When you do online gaming or when you're watching YouTube videos and you keep scrolling and then they sometimes see content that is not age appropriate or dangerous. They talk about have social media accounts yet, but still it's something to be aware of. Communicating with strangers. Their online behavior towards others and other behaviors towards their child, like online bullying, like I was mentioned, right? But maybe the child itself is bullying, right? If you go to the next slide, I would just like to give you an overview of how risks are divided. So the child may receive any dangers, right? Maybe violence, wrong content, racist content, advertising, that's commercials, use your children. You know, sometimes you have these children's videos and you get commercials about, oh, buy this ice cream or buy this toy, which is inappropriate for children. They should not be used to have this commercial advertisement. It's not appropriate. Your child can participate, right, willingly or unwillingly, in harassment, stalking, grooming. Privacy is a big one because personal data, if you share too many personal data on the internet, it can be misused. You can be blackmailed, for example, so that's a real risk over there. Which is, if you remember about the incident with the blue whale and the red dolphin, apparently children were blackmailed because they shared their passport. Right? So too much information that they shared. Or the child itself can show wrong behavior, right? The child itself can show bullying behavior. Or sexting with the older students, this sending nudes is really an issue and a big concern. Gambling for older students probably as well, right?
Yeah, because that can be embedded within seemingly innocuous games. The
online games.
Yes.
Do you have a question?
I can't see what it says at the top. What are the three titles of those categories?
Sorry, this is the child as a receiver.
So what is the word again?
Content.
Content.
Sorry, content. So, right? This is contact. And this is conduct. Yes? Exactly. Exactly. And these slides will be shared with you, so you will have time to look back at this on your own as well.
Yes.
Just one more slide, please. This is just a view. This is from UNICEF, and this just gives you an idea of children who have experienced harm online by gender and age. So this is just some data which shows you. So this is between boys and girls, and in the countries and how often they have experienced. They reported being harmed online. So it says, in the past year, has anything ever happened online that bothered or upset you in some way? So this was the question. And for example, in Chile, like a big amount of children were harmed. Not in every country it's the same, but it gives you again an overview. This is divided by age. So you can see 9 to 11 years old, which is the light purple area, already have lots and lots of reports of harm online. Okay. So, you already had a discussion on your table about the risks of the internet, and we just wanted to kind of summarize what the risks could be, right? We mentioned privacy, online gaming, social media, that strangers can contact you if your social media page is on public, cyberbullying, and we are aware also as a school that this is a big issue because it happens. It happens also at this school, also amongst our children. So this is something that we as a school are aware of as well. And that we as parents and as a school have also a responsibility in answering to or addressing. Grooming, is everybody familiar with the word grooming? Because it means actually that you're slowly being persuaded to do something that is inappropriate, basically. Or grooming to radicalization for religions, for example. Sextortion, which is blackmailing by nudes, by sending naked pictures. Inappropriate content, so this is with the YouTube videos, for example, or advertisements, or just a website that you click on and then suddenly your child sees something that's not for their age. The social pressure and challenges, so the blue whale and the red dolphin issues. And there is physical impact as well, right? Like you said, too much screen time, they act like a zombie, they're not in the real world anymore, sleep deprivation, anxiousness. I'm suddenly remembering a book that I'm reading, and I'll put this into the resources in the end. It's a book which is called The Anxious Generation, and it's exactly about this generation of children that has grown up into the world, into a digital world with social media and the internet always being online. And it talks a lot about the physical and realistic impact on their whole well-being in general, actually. It's very interesting. I'm going to share that with you as well. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. All right.
Next discussion. Because this brings us talking about all the risks that there are on the internet. We don't want to say that the internet is all bad, because we are aware that there are lots of good things about being online and internet and screen time as well. So this was all very negative, I'm aware of that. So we don't want to say that everything is wrong, right? The internet is extremely useful and helpful. Could you please talk on your table with the other parents, talk about the things that you do at the moment to make sure that your child is safe online? So what are things that you are already doing that help you to make sure that your child is safe and healthy online? So we have 2 other minutes, next 2 minutes again, to just talk about that, please. Conversations again. I feel it's good to have as parents to hear what other parents are doing, because maybe, well, you can learn from each other, right? If you have any useful tips as resources for other parents, feel free to share, because I think that's only helpful. This is what we recommend. As you can see on the flyer as well, this is, I mean, there's lots of information online, right? And this is just a thing that we use as a guideline for our presentation at the moment. It says in here as well, but this is what is in general recommended to ensure that your child is safe, right? And I asked the question already, like as a parent, do you make sure that you limit your screen time? Because it's important that as a parent, we lead by example. If we expect our children to be off screen time, then it wouldn't be fair if we are on our phones all the time, right? So it's important that as a parent, or maybe as a family, you set expectations on how long you are on the screen, or that you have healthy off screen time, maybe once a day, an hour a day. You have an hour as a family where there are no screens, no phone, and you play games, or you read a book, or you talk, or whatever works for your family, right? I heard someone saying here already, talking with your kid openly and set boundaries with your child, right? Younger kids probably need more firm boundaries from parents. Once your child gets older, it is very fair to ask them what they think and what they need. They are, especially I think in secondary, children become aware of the risks as well. And I think by having a good conversation with them and what they think is fair as a boundary would be great to involve them in that conversation. Ensure a healthy mix of screen activity. And that comes maybe to a conversation we had over here, where we have lots of screen time at school as well. You can use screens for schoolwork, for online games. And I think here it says, the figure will come up in the next slide, but it says you use it for learning and creating, right? You can use it for creativity, to learn. You can use it to connect, because we call with our family. Most of us are expats and we have family abroad, and it's useful screen time. And we can use it for downtime, just to relax, to do the online gaming or online reading on a screen, right? It's useful, but just make sure that there's a healthy mixture of things. For parents, it's recommended to not use screen time as a reward, and encourage physical activity and the sleep, because it really impacts physically. If you're sitting on the couch all day watching a screen time, it's not healthy. So please encourage the physical activity.
And I would say it's related to this last one. You can look up the term sleep hygiene.
Yes.
There are these parameters of like not using screens within the last hour of your day, and not having your phone, if possible, in your bedroom. And those things, and I even heard over here, like no screens at all in the bedroom. There's scientific proof to show that like our brains and our eyes need that disconnect from the screen in order to get quality sleep. And so that's something to consider as well, and can be part of that setting up and collaborating with your child of like, what's reasonable? Well, if science shows us we need a break from screens, then when do we put our phones away at the end of the day?
Yeah.
And it's between everybody in the family, not just the kids. So.
Yes.
One good way is to, when it's like bedtime, usually in my family, what we do, I go room by room and I collect all the devices.
Yeah.
And I put it all in my bedroom for the night, because I know that kids, I've recently discovered that kids, they call it all-nighter. If they have their phone or their device in their room, they sit on like once parents are asleep, they do all night. They sit on the device all night.
Yes.
So after that, I now collect all the devices. So I will have 3 iPads, 2 computers, phones, and PlayStation, everything. So I collect it all in my bedroom, and then in the morning when they go to school, they pick up.
Yeah, I think that's extremely smart, because I know that there are.
I mean, for some people, it might. They might view it as too much of a control, but I think kids are kids. So anyway, they would. They would, if the phone or the computer is in their room, anyway, they would want to check. Oh, can I check this?
Exactly.
Can I check this? They might take all night. So.
And then they are distracted, right?
Yeah.
And again, you are just ensuring that they sleep well.
Yes.
And that's because students come to school sleep deprived, because they stay in the morning. Yeah, I was on my phone all night. Yeah. And then learning is difficult as well. So it's important. I praise you for that. And every parent and every family will find their own ways of dealing with this. Okay, you have to do what you're comfortable with as a parent.
We've tried all
Exactly. I would recommend, like, the older your child gets, the more you can involve them as well in setting those boundaries.
And then
There are these two things.
Oh yeah, thank you. Just two extra things. Teaching about digital citizenship. So this is a word that we use to have healthy habits on the internet, and it's part of the common sense curriculum that we're using here at school. And this is just about teaching your child about healthy digital habits. Yes? So teach your children that as well. Tell them that it's not okay to share all your private details on social media or to share pictures that are uncomfortable, right? There are really good filters, block and monitoring websites and apps, which will be shared in this slide as well, that you can use as a parent, that you can put on their laptop or on their phones, so you can block certain websites or block certain advertisements or monitor their internet behavior. So this will be shared in this slide as well. This is again from the flyer. Feel free to take it home if you want to, but I think we've been over this, so thank you.
Okay, and then I'm going to come stay next to you. Because we're recording this for parents who are working right now, so hello. And Luce is wearing the mic, so in case you were wondering why I'm moving to the screen. Okay, so the socially and emotionally supporting your children. You are going to be their strongest supports across a lifetime. And so we want to empower you with as much knowledge regarding that. So open communication with your children. I've already heard this at multiple tables, and this is huge. So being a non-judgmental as much as possible and safe place for your kids to come and say, like, I saw this thing, or I felt uncomfortable, or I just feel off, or can I please go get ice cream because I saw this ad? Whatever it is, having that space and that agreement that you are approachable is first and foremost.
May I just highlight with the word non-judgmental? Because I can promise you, your children will make mistakes on the internet. And they will do things and see things that that will make you very angry, maybe, or frustrated. But I think it's important to keep that open communication, to try as non-judgmental as possible. To just sit with them and tell me, okay, what happened there? Just impossible. Sorry, please go on. But I just wanted to highlight it because that was a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. Encourage and model positive digital habits. We've said this, I think, 3 times now, and I've heard it at the tables too from yourselves, and so this is huge. We all think about the coach that wouldn't run ever, but they were telling us to run laps. It's very demotivating, and so, oh no. I'm thinking about, like, when I was a kid, I had coaches who would tell me, like, run all the time, but they would never run. So it's that leading by modeling. Sorry. Yeah, so this includes having your own screen time, or even if you catch yourself scrolling, just being like, oh, I didn't even realize, and you can say it out loud, like, I'm wasting my time, I should put this down. So like even modeling, like, catching yourself in poor habits. Not judgmental, again. Collaborate with your kids about online behavior and helping them feel engaged in the process. So again, if your children are older, they're going to be able to engage in the conversation a little more. If they're younger, they need you to provide those boundaries. But this could include saying, like, how much were you on your screens at school? How much do you think your body needs to move right now? And that kind of thing. It's getting them to start thinking and asking questions, which is what we do here at school all of the time. So they are going to be well-versed in that type of thinking. Teaching critical thinking and discuss privacy. So this could even be saying, like, anytime a website asks me for my passport number, I check to make sure there's the lock symbol at the top, I make sure it's a reputable spot, or I call somebody if I need to ask them to verify. So that could be the modeling. This could be saying like, you never like give out credit card information without talking to me. Like helping them just say like, I'm not always going to say no. Let's work on it together to keep you safe. Same with personal information, all of that stuff. And then observe for signs of distress. I think I want to separate those. So observe for signs of distress. So if you notice, like your child is suddenly acting very strange after being on their phone, or normally they would rush home to like get on their social media or play their games. If they're like upset about that, that could be a sign that something is going on that's not appropriate or not healthy for them. And so just engaging in that conversation, like, hey, I notice, like, you seem a little different or off or a little upset. Is everything okay? And that's kind of, we step into that non-judgmental space again. Or like some of the signs of like online bullying can be like a sudden distaste for social media, or looking really upset every time they're on the phone, or feeling like they have to be on the phone. So just signs to look out for. And then maladaptive use with technology. So these are things that we already have discussed largely. If they're always on it, or they are, I don't know, like unable to be apart from it, and like they have like extreme anxiety from that, like that's maladaptive. Yeah, any other pieces you would think we should add to that, Luce? Okay. Yeah.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not about this exactly, but about the challenges that we parents are facing. For example, my kids, when they come home, they would, if I check the computer, they would already have lots of screen time at school, of course, because they've been working on a project or something. But when they come home, then it's very difficult for me to control, because they're in their room. Of course, I'm somewhere at the house doing my housework, but I cannot control, because the challenge is that they're saying that, okay, this is what I have to do, this is my homework, this is my project. So I would have to come every 15 or 20 minutes to come and check. So I don't feel well because of that, because I feel that I'm too much over control or over protecting. But then I don't know how to deal with this, because from one side is the school that requires them to do their project, their homework, and from the other side we are talking about limiting screen time. So there is a big problem. So if you go to them and you see they're working, yes, but then when you're not there, of course they're going on YouTube, and you can't really restrict YouTube, because there are lots of video educational in their homework that they have to go online, they have to watch this video and then write their project or write their opinion about this. So this is one thing. And second thing is that I think at the school we are also promoting to use more devices, because I already had these challenges with my older kids, and I was very upset to know that during the introduction, like this year, third graders, I got the news, we all got the news that the kids, third graders, will already get their computers like on the, I think starting from second term, they will need to bring a laptop. So I really don't agree with this, because from third graders, they're very small, they cannot write things by their hand, but they're already going to be adapting to the computer, to the screen. So what's the point? I think at this age, it's not
not appropriate to introduce computers at home.
Sure, and you can bring that question to me later.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah. Very good points there. And once again, I want to make sure that you're clear about this, that the kids in grade 3 less than 1 hour of screen time a day. And we'll talk about that individually, but I want to make sure that we stay focused on this. Regarding your first point, I don't know if you were at the back to school night. If it's possible, I would recommend having the kids not work in their bedrooms at all. Have a total space within the house, kitchen table, dining room table. And the other thing too is to make sure that their back is turned to you so you can see their screen. Because if you just see this, you don't know what's
Well, it's very challenging to control all 3 kids, you know, for one person as a mom to control them. And then I feel myself very bad because I'm the bad, you know, the policeman. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this.
But this is what my feeling is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll come back together as a group.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. No, I think you inspired a lot of people like thinking. And you're right, we do have this difficult task of saying let's have balance when there is just a lot of technology throughout the day.
It's part of our lives.
Yeah, it's part of our lives and it's not going anywhere. So we are gonna help kids, help ourselves to find and create balance as much as possible. So even sometimes kids are like, they'll come into my room and they're like, I need a break. I'm like, okay, is this a brain break or a body break? And so if it's a body break, then there's no there's not screens involved anyways in my room, but I'm thinking at home. If it's a body break, then it's like no screens, move your body, like what's gonna help you get your homework done so you can do the fun things. If it's a brain break, it might be checking Instagram or something. It might be doing something on the screen for a short time, but set a boundary to say, like, hey, let's give yourself like a 10-minute break, and then let's get your homework done. That way you can do more things. And so like it's helping them implement their own boundaries, and then supporting them through those boundaries as like they grow, and they'll need your help less and less. But I think those are really good points, and yeah, I love that Obi was here, so y'all can connect anytime. Is this our next time? This is the next time. Okay. So our time is coming to an end, so we'll move a little swiftly through this. Again, you will get all of the slides. But what to do when like you suspect that your child is at risk or something is off. So look for those concerning signs. So sudden mood swings, not wanting to talk, changes in behavior, isolation. Related to this, and this one's a little like unexpected, but if you have a kid that's like normally pretty down, and suddenly they're super excited, like really happy, all of a sudden, like there's not really a reason. So they'll just be like, how are you doing? Like, let's just check in. Because that is also a sudden mood swing. And so if it is just like, things are good, I have friends, I did really well on this assignment, whatever, like, then that's great. But notice those changes and be attuned to that. Ensure their safety. So, and this can include setting up those boundaries, helping them, removing the technology devices from their rooms, maybe just at night or maybe altogether, like Obi mentioned over there. Like, have their back to you when they're working on a computer or on their screen if possible. You're not like looming down over them, but you're just helping provide that safety. Also, like the monitoring apps. These are things that like they run in the background of the computer. You can often put a computer and phone devices across the household using them. And you can have that conversation with your kids. Like, I just know there are people who do bad things on the internet, and it's my job to protect you. And so I'm doing this not because you're in trouble, and not because you're doing anything bad. I just care for you. So keep that door open. Educate them about online safety. This is going to continually be a part of our lives. monitor and assist the child with the safe online practices. That's part of the education. Ask for help. Like if you notice signs of like cyberbullying, or if your child tells you it's happening, let us know. If it relates to school at all, it's helpful for us to be aware. Even if there's a big life change for the kid, and their mood or their social interactions like might be impacted, it's also helpful to let us know. Or if like they need some added safety, it's okay to call and ask for help.
So if I may add to that, like cyberbullying, even though it happens outside of school time, right? It doesn't happen at school. It often happens outside of school in their free time in the evening, but it happens between students. Feel free to still contact us, because contact us if you are worried about cyberbullying. Yes?
Yes, I think at school you are really not in a position to control that.
It's hard to control, right? But we can be here for support.
And I'm happy to see that school has banned devices during the school hours.
Yes.
So it's good. And then, I mean, you're not able to really to see how the cyberbullying is happening, right? So it's outside of the school hours.
Yes.
Still.
So we can, exactly. So we can't, as a school, we cannot control what happens outside of school, but we can support students here at school when they are here. We can teach them about it, we can talk about it, and we can maybe work together as parents and counselors and teachers to support your child and to prevent this from happening, or support them going through a situation like that. Yes?
Okay. And then I think we're going to the question slide. Is that
All
correct?
right. I think we have the resources slide.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so these are some of the resources we just discussed. I would like to highlight the first one. This is, of course, a website with. This was recommended by the government of Kazakhstan. And this has parent courses, it's in Russian. So this link leads you to the website, and they have lots of courses for parents when it comes to digital safety and supporting your child. These are two websites that give some recommendations for apps to control your devices, safety websites, those kind of things. This is a guideline. It's a big read, but if you're interested, feel free to read the guideline for parents and educators on child online protection. This is the link to the Common Sense digital curriculum we are using here at school, and has a parent section as well. So there's our specific resources for parents. And ICMEC is, I did a child protection course with them. This is for International Center for Missing Children. It sounds big, but they have really good resources when it comes to online safety as well. And again, we are sharing these slides, so you will have access to all these resources. Yes? Then, we have some questions. Before I go to the parking lot, do we have any questions for now from the people who are here? Yes.
So we are living in Kazakhstan. Do you have any research, any data on overall, how the online safety and the challenges that have been facing here, like in Kazakhstan? Do you have any research?
So do you mean like specific websites?
Like after these incidents, have there been any research done or any data that we can go online and search for it? Like any not scientific, but like you provided charts.
Yes.
UNICEF,
But you're specifically for Kazakhstan. Yeah. We can look into that. I'm not sure. I think it's more difficult because I don't speak Russian. It's more difficult to find that research for us, but we can ask around to see if we can find more information on that. Yes? Did you have a question as well?
I have one question. Like it was some interview from about from early years phones are prohibited, but for further on, it was discussion with it was asked like parents' opinion. What do you think? Whether it's prohibited or not? So what's the result? Whether it will be prohibited in the school?
For what? The phone? You mean? So in secondary at the moment, there is a no phone policy. So students do not have access to their phones during the school day. Grade 6 to 12. Yes.
It's also
yes. That's we're very happy. It's a really good program. Actually, it works well. Yes.
And that always my answer to when my child is asking, for example, why everybody has phones and I don't. And this is a very interesting question because you need to balance it somehow. And I have to know, like, come on, it's prohibited in school, what for doing?
Yeah.
And it's very big support from your side because you have to be told that everybody else is doing it.
Exactly, that makes it difficult.
No, exactly. I cannot tell the people, it's the only ones.
Exactly, that's right.
Yeah, also no phones. My kids 13 years old, they don't have phones.
Yeah,
So
hopefully.
I find now it's very rare to select those who don't have
Yeah. So that's someone had a question. Do students get similar kind of training, especially in secondary? So I think this was about training for teachers. I don't know if the person wants to share who had this question, but students are being kind of trained through the common sense digital curriculum. And I have to admit, as a counselor, I am trying to push in and also talk about these topics as well with the secondary students. Does it answer your question? Yes? Any other questions for now? Because we hope that with this workshop, well, you have some resources, you have some ideas of what we do here at school. Hopefully you have some strategies to support your child at home and that you know what to do when you are worried if your child is at risk. So thank you so much for coming and for listening to our presentation. And then feel free to mingle or talk together. And then thank you very much. Thank you.